Everybody, my name is Christopher Saunders, and this is the Connecticut Sports Talent Show, where we talk all things talents in Connecticut. And on tonight's show, a returning guest, the head football coach of the Sheehan Football Program, Coach Ferrazzi. Coach, thanks so much for coming back on, man. It's been a while.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on again. It's been a while.
Oh, it's been way too long. So much has happened since the last time I've had you on here. I have a house, a fiance, and life is good, man. Life is good.
That's good. I seen you posting that. Congratulations on getting engaged again. Welcome to the club. You'll be there pretty soon. Somebody once told me you get engaged, the cement comes up to your shins. You get married, it comes up to your knees. You buy the big house, it comes up to your waist, and you have the kids, it's up to your neck. So it's rising.
I love that. And you know what? I may have to steal that. May have to, Coach.
It's all good, though. It's all good. Life is good.
You know, Coach, I was able to follow a little bit the program last year. I remember I had one of your players on, and I understand that making the playoffs was not there, but I felt like with everything that you had to compete with last year, with first year coming back from COVID, just the numbers as you and I were just discussing, always kind of staying in the middle, never high, never low. Um, I just felt like that season could, in some ways, kind of be a precursor to to what could be another successful season this year.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know what to expect out of ourselves last year, and nor did we get caught up in it. We just knew that not playing the year before, like everyone else, was going to be tough, really on the mindset of the kids and getting them back into the commitment of football. And, although we didn't get everything back normal last year, um, credit to our players though, last year, all they did was improve. And it was a slow progress. Um, a lot of adversity early in the season, quarantines and kids missing for COVID. Obviously, you get injuries and everything else. We were just so proud of how our players stayed the course and you know finished a strong 7-3, coming extremely close to the playoffs. Us feeling we should have been in. It was a successful run for that class who missed the year before and came into their senior year, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right guys, it's your turn to lead this team now. So turn the page, and here we are next year, feeling normal again and preparing again, and hoping to continue that quest and put it all together again.
You speak about the normal aspect. I think that's, I think of athletes and everybody kind of have their routine. The routine brings comfortability. It brings a sense of, okay, I know what I'm doing. This is, almost confidence in a way. Do you feel like now with this being, back to back, uh, as far as being able to be normalcy, bring normalcy again, practice normal, something that really has not been had since before COVID, back to back seasons of practicing football, OTAs, and all of that. Do you feel like that can kind of help this team because now there's a little bit more normalcy back in their lives again when it comes to football?
Yeah, and I think it also allows you to do things to let kids be kids again too. Um, you know, the locker room. Like what's some of your biggest football memories are the locker room. Um, we have team dinners for our team once a week. Just giving the kids a chance to break bread with each other. To end a week. Having organized events inside, totally being in the weight room, and you know, being able to do things within your program that aren't always just football. Helps with the overall experience and the mindset and building a team. So yeah, those kind of things, are definitely things that are to help put everything back together and you know continue moving forward.
Was there any aspects, Coach, during the COVID season where nobody played football in Connecticut? I know there was 7-on-7 and such, but that's a whole nother thing. Was there anything as far as now being back into the game, year two post COVID? Um, was there any reflection made during the time where there was not football as far as your coaching aspect that you feel like was for the betterment for you going forward?
Yeah, old cliche is, not taking things for granted. You never know when something can be taken away from you. And you gotta approach things that you love like it's the last time you're going to do it. And we held on to that,
Mhm.
for a little while, and we had to we really that really had to be harped on last year, and now it's kind of a reminder. Hey, remember when? Um, but it's always good to keep that in perspective, regardless. Because you never know when it could be your last time doing so.
Now, looking at as far as with the OTAs, and now practice has been underway for some time. You were telling me you got scrimmages coming up, and it's always good to hear scrimmages because the season is ever so close. I mean, we're just, I think, less than 3 weeks away, something like that, before the kickoff of the high school season. How has it been thus far? I know you were telling me a young team, but young teams are sometimes, I could see the good and the bad. Good because you don't know what to expect. The bad is there's going to be growing pains, no matter how talented they are. How's it been like so far?
It's been going well. We're about a week and a half in. Like everyone else, had our OTA sessions. Roll into practice last week, and the kids have really been taken to the coaching. We have a few, three new staff members on, a lot of new faces on the team, a lot of young guys that find themselves competing for starting positions. Kids have been coachable, they've been eager. They want to be coached. You go through a summer and you do some 7-on-7 and you go through all that stuff, and you really don't have you don't have opportunities to coach them. So
Mhm.
it's like you have to hold and wait until you get to preseason, and we go through the summer, say, we're going to coach that up when we get to preseason. And then finally it's here. And now as the players get coached and you're able to, see it on film, and you're able to coach it on the field and walk through it and do the things that you do from day to day in a coaching perspective, the kids start to understand the details. Then if you got new kids in the program, they realize, how much those little details in this sport,
Mhm.
matter. So, they're doing a great job. They're doing a great job. They're doing everything we're asking them to do. And, we're working on building our confidence and our mental toughness, pretty much like everybody else is doing, trying to find, what's that heartbeat and what's the DNA of our team. And as we roll into scrimmages and get to go against someone else, being in a small program, you know, going against yourselves every day is tough. Scout teamwork gets tough. You get guys banged up. It's hard to get a good look. So scrimmages for us, like everybody, is just huge to really see how you match up, against good on good.
Do you feel like in some ways with the players that are coming back, that what happened last season, and I know as far as your thoughts, as far as what happened, we won't get into that, but the players aspect, do you feel like that kind of gives them a little bit extra? And I'm sure they're motivated regardless, but maybe just a little extra. Like, we don't want to have what happened last year happen again. We want to be the reason why we didn't make the playoffs. Well, now we're going to make it this season. Do you feel that in some way, coach?
Yes. And we don't spend a ton of time harping on it,
Mhm.
but it's more of a reminder. There's a screenshot blown up on cardstock 11 by 14 paper of the final playoff standings, posted within eyes distance right here on every squat rack every time a kid steps into a squat rack. All right. That number 9 where we finished shows up a lot of places. So, whenever our players need a reminder, if they can't see it themselves, is just remember where you finished last year. All right. And, we have a standard. We have a standard in our program, and we didn't meet that standard. And now we've got to step our game up again. So, so yeah, they, they certainly take it personal. And, you know, leadership leadership shows when they use that to remind each other. And when we have to remind them, it comes out pretty assertively as well.
Well, I'm glad you don't have a big blown up of my face or something with like something, you know what I mean? I'm glad that's not there.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. But coach, I really do like that aspect of, the psychological side. I feel like, and the mental side. To compare it, football, baseball, whatever. I think baseball 90% mental, 10% physical. And I feel like football in some ways is obviously different, more physical than baseball, but still the mental side. I mean, I just think about all the talented quarterbacks that come out of college. How many of them don't pan out? And a lot of times it's not because they're gifted. It's not because they didn't have it talent wise. It's because of up here. So much of that is that. And I feel like, coach, for you too, and for the staff and for the kids too, keep seeing the number 9, keep looking at it. If you want to give up, if you want to do whatever, just see the 9 and push it through. That motivation could be used during the season when you guys, everybody, for at some point, could be down for the first half, could be out, could be down for the first 3.5 quarters. But it's like, how do you continue to fight back? That's the biggest factor, coach.
Yeah. I mean, we have pillars for our program, and we have core values. And, you know, we use that as our process, and the pillars of our program, we call it the 4 C's. It's commitment, confidence, competitiveness, and character. That is what we fall under and everything in our program. And then, through leadership work with our team every summer, we choose we choose core values that we want our team to be defined as. And the players choose them. Players choose those things. And it's not just things that we're going to put on a t-shirt or something like that. Those things need to be evident in the way we practice, in the way we play. And that's how we stay process driven. We're big on that. We get into a season and we're not just harping upon winning this game and getting to the playoffs. We can't stick to the process of what it takes, to chop wood every single day. Then, the results are going to take care of themselves. So as coaches, we're trying to really discipline our kids, to exhibit the core values of our program every single day. And if we do that, we will be the best we can be. And that's how we do things every day.
Is there any as far like as we talked about before with some of the young players and how young this team could potentially be, what is the shape up of what the team could be this season offensively and defensively? Are we going to see a lot of changes beyond the fact of new faces? What's it going to be like?
Well, I think that's the question for everybody, right? I think we have a vision, and we're hoping what we see in our heads can come to light. We feel, I think when it comes schematically, I think we feel like we have a system that we follow. And I think what we try to do, I think we've done a good job of it, but we're always looking to get better, is take what we do and how does it work with this year's team. And personnel dictates everything, so you tweak things every year, to fit your system, but to fit your players. We don't change our system. We figure out ways to make it fit. Now, whether that's different offensively, if that's different formations, different personnel groupings, it could be a year where we have way more depth at receiver. Okay, well, this year we might be more of a spread team, or the year before we might have more running backs, or whatever it is. So, we have some things that we like to do. And, and then I think that's where you build through your preseason. And as you enter into week 1 to find out, okay, what is our identity going to be, on this team, and I think we do the same thing defensively, and we try to do the same thing on special teams. I mean, obviously, we we want to be able to run the football. I think that's important, to establish, to establish a physical presence on the field. And you have to be able to play and stop the run on defense as well. We can use whatever plays and schemes you want. But, we're always trying to develop the pass game, for when we need it or to use it, and I think that's something that, we're really focused on right now as well, is complementing our run game with a stronger pass game this year. And we think we have a few players that are, capable of having a big season, in that receiving core. We have a returning quarterback returning, which is great, because he got experience last year and he knows our system. His name's Paul Gorey, and he continues to improve and get better every day. And his ceiling is still high. He's still got room to grow, but he's shown tremendous growth. Since we got him, and since he started last season. So, I don't know if that answers your question.
Oh, 100%. I was just about to ask you as far as names, and you gave me one. And coach, you've just about run out of time, but I really do look forward to being able to see the team this season. Hopefully I could see you guys in person for a game. And then, as far as, because I do plan on doing the top performances of the week, hopefully could have a Sheehan player on here and I'm sure there'll be a lot of them putting up numbers. So I'm really looking forward to it, coach. Should be a lot of fun.
We hope we could put up some numbers, and I think we got some guys that can do that. The receiver I was talking about is John Gagliatino. He's a returning guy, and he's one of a few guys that we need to make sure we're finding ways for the ball to be in his hands, and I think that's the name of the game. And we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to get going, and I know our players are looking ready to get into these scrimmages real soon. So I appreciate you having me on.
Always. And coach, like you said, get the ball to the playmakers. You want your best players touching the football, because that's what leads to the wins a lot of times.
That's called good coaching.
Exactly, coach.
That's called good coaching.
Yeah, exactly. Coach, thanks again for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
My pleasure. Anytime. Thanks for having me.
No problem. That wrap things up here in the Connecticut Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe. Remember, CT stands for Connecticut Talent. I'm Roger. You can find them all. So the rest of your day, everybody, and be well.